Welcome to our deep dive today.
Oh, yeah.
We're diving into the world of Madison Carlista,
Okay.
specifically a blog post she wrote on Halloween 2024.
Gotcha.
And it's very raw and personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Mexico City.
Okay.
We'll hear about self-discovery, dealing with tough emotions, a bit of life in Mexico City,
Right.
and even some AI and digital marketing.
Wow. This is,
Yeah,
sounds like a lot.
it's going to be great.
It's like reading her digital diary.
Totally.
Madison's letting us into her thoughts and feelings.
Right.
At a very vulnerable point.
Exactly. So picture this.
Okay.
Madison separated from her husband, living in a condo in Mexico City,
Mm-hmm.
while he's back in Mazatlan.
Interesting.
Yeah, she's creating a space for herself.
Literally and figuratively.
Exactly.
I like that.
And this physical separation reflects what's happening emotionally for her.
Yeah.
She's making a healing sanctuary
Mhm.
to process everything.
Right.
And physically, she's dealing with arthritis,
Oh, wow.
but using exercise at SmartFit to
Yeah.
cope,
Walkers.
which shows she's seeking control over her body and mind.
Mm-hmm. Taking charge.
Yeah, and that need for control comes up again and again in her posts.
Yeah.
The whole thing feels like a stream of consciousness.
Like she just had to let it all out.
Yeah.
And at the heart of it all is this feeling of being undervalued in her marriage.
Yes. And she mentions her husband always puts others first.
And understanding,
Right.
forcing her to confront her situation and protect herself.
Exactly. And you see this pattern throughout the post. All
Yeah.
these situations where she feels overlooked.
Makes sense.
But then she talks about this huge 75-year legacy celebration she threw for him.
Oh, wow.
For his birthday, she went all out.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what did she do?
Incredible venue. A full orchestra. Invited important people from their community.
Wow.
And even secured some potential business opportunities.
She sounds amazing.
Yeah. But he didn't follow through on any of them.
Oh, no.
I know. And he blamed her for the event's shortcomings.
What?
I know, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And now she's in Mexico City processing everything.
So she's really trying to reclaim herself.
Yeah, and what's interesting is even with all this pain, she keeps saying how important growth and accountability are.
That's good.
Yeah, she's acknowledging her own role in all of this.
Right.
And she's choosing to learn and grow from it.
That's really powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
She's looking ahead.
How so?
She even mentions getting into AI and digital marketing.
Oh, wow. So she's building a future for herself.
Yeah, where she's in control.
I love that.
Me too. And it's fascinating because this blog post
Yeah.
is just a snapshot.
Right.
She mentions other grand gestures from their marriage.
So we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg?
Yeah, and it makes you think about all those unspoken expectations in their relationship.
It really does. And it makes you wonder, how do we balance supporting our loved ones
Right.
while still keeping our own sense of worth?
Such a good question.
It is one we all deal with,
For sure.
even if our lives are different from Madison's.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we're starting this deep dive
Yeah,
into this raw journey of self-discovery.
I'm ready.
Me too. And it's all happening in Mexico City.
And what's really interesting is how this one blog post opens up so many things to think about.
I know.
Relationships, self-discovery technology, and empowerment.
Well, can't wait to unpack it all.
Me neither.
This is going to be good.
Yeah, it's like she's wrestling with this whole good wife thing.
Right. I know. It's like she lost herself in the marriage.
Yeah.
Poured all her energy into him. And
Mhm.
forgot about her own needs.
And desire.
Exactly like she was trying to fit a mold.
Instead of just being herself. Yeah.
The old expectations and this new independent path.
A lot of pressure.
For sure. And then she turns to technology and digital marketing.
As a way to empower herself.
Right. She's finding a new way to express herself and build a future.
That's hopeful.
Very hopeful. It's like she's saying,
Right.
but I'm writing a new one.
I love that.
Me too.
Yeah.
She's not letting circumstances define her.
It's inspiring.
Like a phoenix rising.
From the ashes.
Yeah, taking these broken pieces and making something new.
She's not just surviving.
She's thriving.
And that resilience is so important.
It is.
It reminds us we can transform and renew.
Even when things are tough.
Yeah, it's about recognizing our own power.
To make choices for ourselves.
To honor who we really are.
And that's a message for everyone.
Absolutely.
We all go through loss and disappointment.
And question ourselves.
Madison's story shows us we have the power to choose
How we respond to those challenges.
and create a life we want.
It doesn't have to be huge changes.
Right.
Sometimes it's the small stuff.
Self-care,
Self-reflection.
self-love.
Exactly, building a life that feels good.
And you know she's not hiding the messiness.
No, she's open about it all.
Her struggles, her anger.
That's what makes it so relatable.
Totally. We're all human.
Yeah, and it's okay to not have it all figured out.
Sometimes just feeling those
Is
feelings
the first step.
to healing and growth,
Embracing all of it
the good and the bad.
and remembering even in the dark
There's always hope.
and resilience
We have the strength to get through it.
and come out stronger.
You mentioned cultural context earlier.
I did.
I'd love to hear more about how that might be influencing Madison.
Well, culture shapes so much of who we are.
Right.
Our beliefs, our values.
Especially in relationship. And remember she talked about pouring her value into her husband? That sounds like those societal norms at work.
Leading to self-sacrifice.
Especially for women.
It happens everywhere.
Women are told to put everyone else first.
Their partners, their families.
And it's great to support your loved ones.
Of course.
But it can't come at the cost of your own well-being.
Exactly. You need balance.
Between giving and receiving.
Honoring your own needs, too.
And that's where boundaries are so important.
In every relationship.
Communicating what you need.
Creating space for respect.
For both people.
It's not always easy, though.
Especially if you're used to putting others first.
It takes courage to change those patterns.
It's worth it.
To create a healthy dynamic.
Where everyone thrives.
I like that.
It makes me think about the contrast.
Between,
That big 75-year legacy celebration
oh yeah,
and her quiet, healing sanctuary.
that's interesting.
One is all outward appearances.
Right.
The other is about self-care.
It's a big shift in priorities.
She's taking back her narrative,
Investing in herself.
defining success on her own terms.
Realizing that fulfillment comes from within.
And it's interesting to think about,
How Mexico City might be playing a role.
yeah, it's this mix of old and new.
Constantly changing.
Do you think the energy is feeding into her transformation?
Maybe giving her the space to break free,
From those old patterns.
to create something new.
That's a beautiful thought.
Sometimes a change of scenery is all you need.
To jumpstart your own growth.
I think that's true.
Madison's story really makes you think.
Yeah, it stays with you.
It's so real.
And relatable.
It feels like she's speaking for anyone who's felt invisible
Or taken for granted.
in their relationship.
What's amazing is how she finds strength in being so open.
Right.
She doesn't hide the hurt
But she's choosing to heal.
to move forward.
And that brings us back to our question.
About supporting our loved ones.
While valuing ourselves,
It's hard to find that balance.
it is.
There's no easy answer.
Right. But Madison's story shows how important self-awareness is.
Knowing yourself,
Setting boundaries.
and communicating them clearly,
It's all
to
essential.
healthy relationships.
And we have to remember,
Yeah.
taking care of yourself isn't selfish.
It's not, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
You have to fill yourself up first.
To be there for others.
And sometimes
Yeah.
that means making tough choices.
Like Madison leaving her husband.
It's not easy.
But sometimes it's necessary to grow. And what's so inspiring is that she's not just surviving,
She's thriving.
embracing new things,
Exploring her passions.
creating a life that feels
It
right,
shows how resilient we can be.
adapting,
Evolving.
finding joy, even when it's hard.
We all have that ability.
It's about learning from the past,
Not erasing it.
using those experiences to grow.
Turning those wounds into wisdom.
I love that, and I think that's a big lesson from Madison.
What's that?
It's okay to not be okay,
To struggle.
to feel lost.
What matters is that we keep going.
Keep learning.
Keep growing.
And those failures we have,
They can be our best teachers,
pushing us out of our comfort zone.
helping us face those parts of ourselves.
So we might be hiding from.
They can lead to huge changes.
And Madison shows us it's okay to be vulnerable.
To show your scars.
She gives us hope.
Reminds us that even when life is tough,
We have the power to choose how we respond,
how we heal.
how we build a meaningful future,
It's about resilience.
and self-discovery.
Powerful stuff.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Madison's world,
Yeah.
I'm in awe of how strong the human spirit is.
Me too.
Her story reminds us we can overcome anything
Redefine our stories,
and create a life that's truly ours.
even when things are uncertain.
There's always hope
Always room to grow.
and always a chance to find joy and fulfillment.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Until next time,
See you then.
keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep embracing this crazy thing called life.